Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am Sakshi and today we are starting with the third mandala pattern series. In this session, we will be covering next 25 patterns. We have already covered first 45 patterns. I am sure you are really enjoying. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel because I will be coming up with really amazing and super fantastic artworks, and now we're also starting with making some mandalas. So with all these videos, I will be sharing some really amazing tips and tricks in how a beginner can also make mandalas. You must have thought of making mandalas, but you must have also been struggling with how you can begin. So I am coming up with super easy, with super fun mandala tutorials. So stay tuned if you are really looking forward to learn more mandala. Alright, so in this series we will be covering next 25 patterns. This is going to be real fun. The complexity, the advanced session have just begun. So I'm sure you will really enjoy it. Again, I will be having 3 favorite mandala patterns which you need to listen very carefully and comment below what is my favorite pattern. So let's get started without wasting any time. Instead of making the lines manually, I am using a grid sheet. Why? Because the grid sheet is more precise, and by now I am sure you are ready with all the patterns we have done in the previous videos, and now the complexity and the advanced concept have started for the mandala patterns. So if you do not have this, that's completely fine. You can go ahead with making the similar lines which we have created in the previous mandala patterns. What you can simply do is, I am attaching the link in the description. You can get a grid book or some grid sheets, some loose grid sheets, either from Google. You can get it easily printed, or you can get a very thin grid book so that you can keep on practicing patterns inside the grid book. So I will be just using a fine liner which is by Brustro, a 0.3 mm. As I usually say, this fine liner is equal to the tip size of a gel pen. So let's get started. Today we will be starting with pattern number 46. Alright, so let's just begin. U shape in one of the grid like this and color one part so that the U shape is highlighted. Now I will add the flower petals. Supposedly we have a line on the top. Like this, I will just color outside the flowers so that my flowers pop out. So you see how immediately the flowers are popping out, and it gives an extraordinary effect as soon as we add the outside of the flowers. Pointed petals. As I have said in the previous video, these are the shapes which are mostly used inside mandalas, so it is important for us to practice these shapes thoroughly. Alright, I will just divide it with 2 lines. Again, the same pointed petals. Just draw the inner line. I will just divide the petal into 2 parts like this. Upper part will have some lines. part will have some leaves, or you can say a flower. Inverted U, add an outline, just color the outline. I will just leave a little bit of space. Okay, now I will just divide it into two parts. The upper part will have lines, the lower part will have petals. The central part will have some circles like this, just 3 circles. Now again, I will just draw the pointed petals, and here we will just divide the petal in the V shape. Now on both the left and right hand side, I will draw a spiral and color the rest over space. The spiral pops out. Draw a circle in the center and add some lines again in the leftover space. Now I'll again make some pointed petals. Add inner line in the pointed petal. Now I will divide the petal in two parts with two lines and draw some circles on the upper side. Fill if you have some leftover space. Draw the lines in the lower part. I'll just repeat the same process. Now I will use a 3x3 grid and make the pointed petal. Draw the inner lining of all the pointed petals. Now I will draw a curved triangle inside the pointed petal. Now in the upper part, I will have some vertical lines. And I will draw a flower in the lower side. Color the rest over space. Now I will draw an inverted U. Draw the inner line. From the center, I will draw an umbi on left and right side, coloring the rest over space on the bottom. Make a circle in the center on the top and fill the space with lines.
Now I will make some triangles in a 4 by 2 grid. This is one of my really favorite patterns. Draw the inner line of the triangles. Now inside the triangle, I will make the flowers. Fill the rest over space outside the flowers if you have left with any. I completely love this pattern. Now I will make a semicircle in 3 by 2 grid. Draw the inner line inside. Now I will add a small lotus with some petals on both the sides. So total we have 5 petals.
Right now, I'm sure you all are using a 0.3 pen just like I am using, or a gel pen, but the thinner the pen you use, the more fine you will see your patterns to be. I'll just show you a look. How does it look with 0.1 tip size also? So this is my 0.3 which I was using, and now this is my 0.1. If you can see, it's written 0.1, it's half gone. So I'll just make the same pattern with 0.1 and you will see how fine it is. You even get more space to work. You see the difference between this and this? It is by 0.3 and this is by 0.1, and the difference is amazing.
Now I will draw an inverted U in 2 by 2 grid size. Now I'll draw the inner line in all the U's. On the right side, I will draw an umbi shape, and towards the left hand side, I will just draw some lines. Now I will draw an inverted U again with an inner line. Now I'll divide inside with a V shape with an inner line. Draw a circle in the center on the top and make a flower. Fill the rest of the space you have, and the bottom side will have some vertical lines. Now again I will show you the same pattern with 0.1 tip size, and you will see the difference between both of them. Now again I will make some inverted U shapes with the inner lining. I will divide the shape with two diagonal lines. Upper part will have some circles. Fill the rest over space. And the lower part will have some vertical lines. This is a very beautiful pattern. Now again I will draw some pointed petals in 2x2 grid space. I'll draw a kind of spiral from the bottom center on both the sides. Make a semicircle in the center and add flower on the top space. Fill the color if you have any leftover space. This is again a very beautiful pattern. Now I'll draw pointed petal in 3x3 grid space and draw the inner line. Now I'll draw the umbi shape from left hand side towards the center and right hand side towards the center. Fill the rest over space below the umbi. Now above I'll make a circle and draw the flower. Fill the space if you have any outside the flower. You can also add circle towards the end. Now again I'll make the pointed petal in 3x3 grid space. Draw the inner line. Now I'll draw this kind of a shape from the bottom center on both the sides. Color the rest over space below it. Add a circle in the center and some lines on the top part. Now I'll draw pointed petal again in a 3x3 grid space with an inner line. Now I'll divide the space with a triangle. The triangle will further be divided with a line and draw some lines on either side. Make the outer line and add flower petals on the top. You can have a dot on the left hand side of the space left to the lower part. Now I'll draw a pointed petal again, but this time in a 3x2 grid size with an inner line. Now I'll divide the petal with two lines in the center. Draw some lines on the right hand side. The left side will have some circles and fill the rest over space. Now I'll draw inverted U with an inner line again. Make a semicircle in the bottom center and add flowers on the above side. This is absolutely one of my favorite patterns again. as this have a flower and the flower pops out as soon as you color the outer space. Now I'll make a triangle in 2x2 grid space. Now I'll divide the triangle with the central line. Make some curvy leaves on the right hand side. Fill the rest-over space between the leaves. Draw a line on the left hand side again and some slanting lines on the leftover space. Now I'll draw a pointed petal in 3x1.5 grid with an inner line. Divide the petal with the central line and draw some lines on the right hand side. Now I'll draw some lines on the left side also and add a lotus on the top of the pointed petal. This is again a very beautiful pattern. It's a traditional pattern. Fill out the space between the lotus on the lower side. This pattern looks amazing towards the end of the mandala. Now again I'll make the pointed petal in 2x2 grid space with an inner line. Now I'll add ambi on the right hand side and the left side will have some flower petals. Now I'll make the inverted U in 2x2 grid space with an inner lining. Now I'll divide the shape with two diagonal lines. Make the flower on the upper half. Fill the rest over space. The lower part will have some vertical lines. Now in just one grid section, I will make an inverted J shape. Add a circle in the center on the top and make the flower. This is one of my absolute favorite pattern. Now I'll draw the pointed petal in 2x2 grid space with an inner line. Now I'll make a semicircle on the top corner, color it, add the outer line, make some flowers and add some vertical lines on the leftover space after the flower.
This was really fun. I am sure you really enjoyed it. Just don't forget to comment because I would really love to send your favorite art supply as a free gift from my side. So don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. We are next coming up with amazing things very soon. So till then, take care, keep creating magic. Bye-bye.